Hello everyone, it's your favorite FGC VTuber, and today we're gonna be, it's slight react, look, you guys already know I talk about this stuff before, but now we got, and this time, because this one got me, see, stopping out damage control for better, I don't know, I hope the interactive is sucking this guy's PP like I am. Epic Games UE5 dev. Because no, this is true, Arc of the Raiders, I don't know shit about it. No magic here. Unreal is just that good when devs try. Like that's the main thing I want to get because it is true. But now I'm like, oh wait, if it's a UE5 dev saying that's like or Epic, because then they're probably trying to gaslight. So let's see what this homie's on about. Because it's true. Like here's the thing. I feel like most of the hate coming from non-devs and like gamers specifically is oversaturated as fuck. I think developers are the bigger problem in companies than the actual engine. But that doesn't let the engine off. Like to me, I said it once and I'll say it again as someone who fucks with it. It incentivizes it and makes it too easy to do it the wrong way, if that makes sense. Like, like I said, me and this dude were already fuck Nanite, fuck Lumen, and fuck ray tracing. Those three, and there's probably something else too. Who knows? But the four horsemen of this is why UE5 is ass. Anyways, go to your thoughts, dude. Reviewers shouldn't be saying shit. They're dumb. Blame devs, not on. No. Definitely blame the developers. Blame the developers first, then blame the tool. Don't ever let the devs out the hook because it's 100% them. They suck dick. Then I can fuck itself. What is this? Okay, yeah, that alone, like, so long story short is that what it advertises is not really the case when you have all this fake shit, and then of course for things, and I mean what he said last, that was just peak. Thank you. See, he says the best. We're nowhere near that future. People want to like, no. It does. Who says that shit? That's the other problem though. Why fuck feature hardware? Most people are gonna be developing for a Switch and a GTX 1060, so that's such a stupid ass excuse. Mind you, the GTX 1060 can actually run Unreal Engine 5. But and as a developer, mind you, that's yeah, no, literally a little bullshit. That's the stupidest shit. I mean, the only time probably you could say maybe the PS3's cell processor, but nothing is future. Like it works for what's now, and you hope, and you hope if you're not lazy like Intel, make it for the last gen. And then, oh, okay, it'll be better next, but it's never like that made for that's the stupidest shit on earth, bro. It works now or it doesn't. And mind you, that time is now because we got the 50 series. So, and mind you, this is 100% true. Marketers know it, the company knows it, and even developers know it.
Here's an example.
Right. I argue most of it was honestly optimization. That's actually a good example. And even then, like I said, best version PS4. There's a reason they made it for the PS4. You know, that's the reason they have. But I mean, it was the reason. Like the reason it was not because it was holding it back. It's because dev time was being taken away to optimize the PS4. And right as we play right now, the PS4 version is playable. Same with the Xbox one and the Pro, even more so. You know, like I played before, and I would still go back and play the PS4 versions now, or PS4 Pro. I would say definitely not the base versions, but yeah, no, and that's not, again, I wanted to go back to what I was referring to. The whole thing is that these they develop these for the PS4 in mind. We're still making shit for the PS4 and the Switch. You really think like that's where most of the market is? Like, I'd argue minimum 50 to 60% of the market is old PCs, the Switch and the PS4, or even an Xbox. Like put them all together, at least half, minimum. Why would you want to lose out on your audience? Like, it doesn't make sense. So of course you're gonna have it for a lower spec thing. So having it for higher now, like that's the number one biggest thing that's so stupid. Because at the end of the day, you're just gonna cook your audience. Most people don't own a PS5 or Series X or the latest PC hardware. So that's the number one thing that is against that argument. Why all this shit is mad stupid, bro. Most people don't have hardware. I barely moved over from shit that didn't support this stuff. And even then, guess what? I have an Intel B5. Like, it's pretty good for what it is. Don't get me wrong. But to me, for the standard for this stuff, it's definitely at the bottom of the barrel. Like the Intel B5 is what the bare minimum should be. Fuck the RTX, whatever, you know, because they're just shit cards. No. 10 gigabyte VRAM is 100% the minimum, not 8. And that's what but the GPUs have is a whole nother problem on it. I mean, good example. Look at the indie game I covered before, and that indie game won't get popped. Why? Because you literally need a ray tracing card. Games like that, they're fucked. They're straight up fucked. And the funny thing is, just because you have a ray trace capable card, I don't use that shit. Codes don't use that shit. Also, who did that? Who did that? Why? Hey, that's funny as hell. Quiet, Yugimon. We're watching a video. Oh, he cooked! Literally. No, he said it perfect. Current gen looks like crap. Second, but current console gen time, like current gen, it should look reasonable. Not like shit. Dude, things should not look like shit right now. You know what? Best two games are examples. Dragon's Dogma, Monster Hunter. They look like shit and run like shit on modern hardware. Those games are ass. Like, he cooked. Future proof, like, no, that's just trash. That's just fucking trash, bro. Like, dude, Cyberpunk looks fine on a PS4. What's your fucking excuse? See, even he's saying, even by their standards, no, that's, you know how I know that's bullshit? Motherfuckers thought when Crisis came around, oh man, the gigahertz are gonna get higher. No, we were wrong about that bullshit. Oh, core count. Oh well, I mean, it's not really going up as like every time we think, oh man, this is gonna be no. If this was the 90s or any other time, sure. Especially when it comes to memory, sure, or capacity, whatever stuff. But everything else, like no, there's kind of like we reach those points, and then there's again good example. Like I mean, we're there now. Instead of oh my god, we have this, that, whatever. Oh, now we have AI. So we're not even advancing in actual tech. We're just having more bullshit ways and inventing software. Like literally, we're just at a software point. We're not going anywhere in hardware. So like all this shit, like ray tracing's still gonna be a fuck ton. It's still gonna cost you a shit ton. And then on top of that, like let's be real. Right now we should be where 20 gigabytes should be the norm, but we're not even there yet. But and then even then, well, what's the cap? What 50, 100 gigabytes of VRAM? And okay, I'm gonna be honest. I feel like 50 will be fine, but and that's the thing. Okay, we have all this VRAM, but guess what? All the other stuff isn't gonna catch up. We're not gonna have AI or software that catches up with it. Fucking or DirectX and Vulkan. They might not be able to handle this stuff. So like, and then mind you, that's the only thing I see seeing going up is VRAM, but everything else won't catch up. Like, let's say, okay, we have a point, we have a 50 gigabyte card. I don't think the gigahertz and the memory clock and the bandwidth is gonna catch up with that shit, and let alone the software. I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of it's just software, but like, and even then, we're focusing on the wrong thing. We should be focusing on optimization and better things instead of things that like, okay, here's the code, oh, just so we can be lazy. Like, I don't know, man. It's just fucking. And it's even crazier because we've already gotten the hang of like bake shadow. Like there's already techniques that we haven't mastered, but we're like 90% there. What's stopping us from using it better and implementing it better, and then making the code fine and then implementing it into modern stuff to make it easier? But no. Let's move on to the next thing that's untested and cost way more and looks also worse. I don't get it. I mean, that's literally what overclocking is. That's basically what the pros are. So you're not even wrong. Like, don't get me wrong. PS4 to PS5 is definitely a jump. PS3 to 4, not really. But if we're going by your point, I mean, there is some stuff they're gonna do with the PS6 from what we heard. But when you compare, I feel like the PS6 to PS5 is gonna be the same thing as PS3 to 4. It will not be that big. Like you said, I think it'll be close to what you said. To see, yep. Lumen, yep. All this shit, all this make like this is shit you are not seeing me do in my game. Hell no. These gamers don't like TAA because what does dumbass say? These gamers don't like TAA because they're gaming at low. No. Codes. Cook this man, right? We've seen TAA in Tekken. That shit looks nasty, bro. Also, that's a little bullshit because, bro, first of all, what game are you running that's running at 4K that uses TAA? That's a little fucking bullshit. See, these are the same, dude, every time, dude, these motherfuckers who own the 50 card, whatever, and it's funny because they don't run their shit at 4K or max settings. And you know, and even if they do, they're playing some fucking esports title or the game that everyone's playing. It's like, no, you guys aren't representing what actual gamers are. Fucking jackasses. I get it. No, for sure. I feel like here's the best way to put it. I feel like the popularization of Unreal, and I noticed that I was annoyed with it since starting 3, and I hate it. And to me, part of it was the hardware. 360 and PS3 was just not ready for Unreal. I mean, it was about that time, but like the bigger thing is like I'm gonna be honest, UE3 more than even 4 and 5, which they do. They needed SSDs. They're not great for hard drives because of the fucking rendering. I hated that. The pop-in was the #1 issue I had with 3. 4, kind of knitted in the butt, but 5, it's like basically almost gone in a sense.
TKSU Jamondeo. Ahem complacency. We saw what happened when Overwatch got complacent.
And I get it. I get the concerns. But to me, I would say now with 5, oddly, you know, it's a peak. I was more annoyed with 3 and 4 because everybody's, but now 5 is because to me, it's like, because of the fact that 5 is such an accessible tool, and again, them going to free from 4 was like, here's the better way. But I feel like UE5 is so great for indies, but I feel like for a lot of AAA companies, like I get it, but I think they shouldn't be using UE5. I think AAA companies should not be using UE5. I think they need to make all this other stuff or whatever. I don't care, but that is where's the problem, because then it kind of becomes like a monopoly. But I feel like we're too deep in, and there's so many engines like where it can't. But it might as well, if anything, it'll be more like the Microsoft in a sense, or you know, other things, and that's where we're definitely kind of headed. And to me, it's like, it's the lesser. I mean, it could get worse. Like I said, it's the lesser of things, but I mean, we're kind of getting there because they're too focusing on. And I want to go back to how, I mean, I'll show an example actually. Oh no, they do. But I will say they're also kind of like the only ones. Like Unity's close, but Unity's fucked up, and then Godot, like man, like as a developer, it's what you either have all these other engines or Unreal. There's like no in between or whatever, and I think that's the biggest problem. Like for me, Unreal is the only real option, and I know for a lot of other devs, it is really the only option. Like I feel like especially you're super focused through 3D, you can still do 2D and you use it, but it feels like Godot and Unity, like Unity's kind of in between. It's good for 2D obviously, and okay for 3D, you know, or decent, right? But you want to go full 3D like UE, and there's just so much help in UE5. And like I said, I'll discuss something that I have my personal beef. What is my biggest personal beefs with UE as a developer? See, that is one. Just trying to turn this shit off. Well, not so much Lumen, whatever. It's just like you do a backlighting thing, but just trying to turn off fucking ray tracing or nanite, or when you like, dude, it's a pain in the ass. They make it a bitch to do that. Why isn't it off by default? That's where I'm really at. That's my biggest number one issue developing in UE. Why isn't it off by default? Same with DAA. Why is that shit on by default too? Take that shit off. Shouldn't have to go into the menu to do that. Didn't know about that, but I already don't use those. But the other thing is, and I think some of the thing is too, try to just turn off AA, dude. You can't even turn that off on most console games, so that sucks. You have to deal with shitty TAA. And then fucking the other thing that sucks in the settings for games, sometimes you either have, if you're lucky, if you have one, you either have FXA, which is okay, not the bad, but maybe what if I MSA? Oh, you don't get MSA. It's like, oh, so either you have TAA or nothing, and that so it's like to me it's even worse how you don't get these options on Sun games. I mean, I look, ever since this video, my game ain't having no TAA. Whatever features I don't get, I don't care. All this bullshit. And this is the core of the problem that he gets with TAA. That's very common. This is what I meant by UE wants you to go in one direction very hard, and if you don't, it kind of wants to, like, oh, well, okay, I guess you can't get ambient inclusion, this and that. It's like, I don't care. I don't need this shit. I'm making a PS1 game. You think ambient inclusion existed in a PS1 game? You know, I'm lucky I'm making a PS1 style game, bro. I don't need this shit. Whatever features I miss, I'm like, I'm fine. I can still make a game. Okay. Do I look like I know how to do that? No. Ooh, we're gonna talk about plugins and scripts, bro. I'll tell you all about that shit. That shit, yeah. The rare plugins are quickly broken by the new engine. Again, I'm gonna just show you guys exactly what. Like, no. I know what he's talking about. Welcome. It sounds like a lot of they're calling out Resident Evil engine. Days Gone's a good example of how you should be doing lighting. Oh hell no! I'm not wrong. UE5 is fairly diverse. It has a lot of diverse stuff, but I get what he's getting at. And at this point, he's just cooking Lumen. Ah! Imagine having a work. Damn, that's cooked. See, shit like that is why I will never fuck with this stuff, bro. I'd rather have a legit baked-in ass shadow, bro. I am not fucking with that shit. That is just nasty, bro. That shit is low-key distracting. Imagine needing 4K to get rid of that shit. I mean, look, the best way to put it is we need a lot more developers to be outspoken about this. I mean, everything you're saying is legit. But the thing that will make it hard for me is I'm not aiming for realistic graphics in the slightest. I really am not. It's more stylized. Every now and then I might have a thing here or there, but I'm just going old school. I'm just avoiding all that bullshit. But even I can tell you, like, no. This is a complaint to me because they make my job harder. They want me to go towards that area. And here's what I'm talking about, you guys. So, like, mind you, it's funny because one of my complaints is, okay, I have to play the latest version, right? I don't have the latest version, right? Right now, the latest is, look, 5.6, right? And there's different ones. The problem is there's plugins. See, like, oh, I could add this, and then it'll tell you, right? Info. Oh, it's compatible 5.4. See, look at these. The highest one is 5.5. And mind you, some of these are only 5.6. Okay, cool. But that all depends on the support from the person who made this plugin. And I'm actually surprised. I mostly saw 5.4. That's why 5.3 was okay. There's a handful of things I lost, that are just kind of plug and play kind of thing. I mean, I won't get too into it, right? But a lot of these do not work with the most recent one. I mean, some of these seem to be. I'm actually clicking on the right ones. But you see, it's annoying when you know all the things you have here, and some of them, again, like, good example, even like the texture stuff or the fucking won't even work. See, this one's 5.4. This one hasn't changed in forever, and then you don't know. There's no reliability. So it's crazy how they want to incentivize you to move on to the next one, and generally the performance is supposed to be better. So it's crazy that you could be stuck on an engine. So if you guys wondering, oh, how come they haven't the latest one? They probably are already stuck using stuff, and then also things can break moving over to the new version. And I mean, to me personally, I am slightly interested in what's in 5.5 because it was the motion engine thing, whatever. But I'm like, nah, fine. I already had like there's two things that went from 5.3 to now that I did care, and two other things that I didn't care. Like, oh, I'm not gonna use that because it's like, why can't I have, like, okay, let me get rid of, and it's fine, right? Because say you're happy, like let's say 5.5, and because the rest of it's just bloat. I'm not gonna use all that stuff, right? That is the good thing about being an older version, you get less bloat. But how come I can't get the optimization upgrades? And that's what I mean. That really sucks. Is that I wish I could still get updates for the old one, but no, you have to move on to the new one. But to me, it's more of a detriment that I can't use some of these that are intrinsic to the project to save me time and money, which is the main reason they're trying to do. And for what? All for one feature? It's like, nah. And some of them are pretty good. Don't get me wrong. Every now and then, okay, here's a really good, nah, whatever. And it's like, see, it's pick and choosing. To me personally, losing these is a bigger L than gaining some feature that I may or may not use, and even it's okay, it doesn't waste save that much time, and then the risk of things breaking from the project. Let's say I'm not even using anything, and it could still break, like you said, just because we move on to the new one, and it could be worse performance either. Oh shit! I mean, to me, like I said, any ray tracing, then that shit's mad pointless. But things that can help speed up the process. I mean, LODs, I don't know. Most of it seems really useless to me. I don't see myself going past 5.4. I'm pretty happy. And like I said, the fact that I went from 2 and 3 and I already lost a handful of these is already a motherfucker, honestly. And who knows? I think some of these might have seen. Look, that one's not compatible 5.4. And this is a stylized rendering. This thing is. Oh, this is Unreal Engine 4. That's why. Never mind. I wish I could hide all the ones that aren't compatible. But yeah, so that is just a huge issue that they seem to overlook. This is the benefit. Like, look at all this shit you get for free, which reminds me, I gotta get the next ones that are free for this month. But yeah, that's my personal thing. It's just like, yeah. So you don't see me. You're not gonna see me getting the latest thing. I'm gonna stuck with the old engines or the old one. 5.44 is definitely. If anything, is there a newer one, or am I just hard stuck on 5.4? I'm curious. Oh, there's 5.54. I don't know if that's any better, but I'm on 5.4. I mean, I don't know. You can still get work done. I mean, I transferred over 5.3 into 5. And I had no issues, and I don't feel like doing that again. And mind you, this is one project. And right now, like I said, finish this project and everything, get everything done, and then I will look into the engines after and see if I need anything that'll help my process. So that'll be a lot for me. But I'm in that luxury where I'm making a fan game before I make a full game, right? But yeah, no. So I have my pet peeves too. Like I said, I wish if anything, I would go where they make an update where they just turn off nanite and all the other shit by default. And again, and that also sucks that some of these by default support it. And I wish that if you had it off, it would just turn it off. And then either it gives you, like, if it does have LODs, give me the actual LODs and not the nanite LODs, if that makes sense. Or let me tweak with it. I mean, who knows? Maybe you do, and I just need to learn more. But as someone who's an indie dev and is at best focusing on PS2, PS3 in the future, and that's semi-realistic, but yeah, no. But yeah, this is a long-winded video for sure. Codes, your thoughts?
Stuff and things
Of course.
with it too much, so I don't know.
Okay, cool. Thank you guys, Ooga Booga, and I'm an indie dev.